Good morning, pregame crew. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, September 26, 2023, 6:22 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:22 a.m. Eastern Time. Good morning. Let's go over some charts. We will officially get started in 8 minutes. Between now and then, I like to take chart requests, get warmed up, and do a little roll call. Hey, Shake and Bake, Marvin, Andre. Hey, Night Truck Greg, Tom. Hey, Card Lady, Ella, Sir Fernando, Topher, Mr. Gugster, Kat, Gino, Scotty Doesn't Know, B-Hawk, Casey, Shake and Bake, Basque. Hey, Carlos, Hector, Chris. Y'all are too good to me. Hey, Casey, Mary, Mike, Mark. Perfect. Thank you, Rob. Scott, Donice. Good morning. Hit that like button. Hey, Jessica, Success, Fat In, Peter, Natalie, Moro. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but let me just pull up the picture. This is from one of our members, so I won't show his name because I didn't ask permission to do this. But this was a rabbit, a wild rabbit living in his yard, and his wife named the rabbit Topher, and he thinks it's because she's overheard me say Topher so much on the show. And he passed away. Rest in peace, Topher. Okay, that's your fun fact for the day, or not so fun fact, but it's pretty cool to see the rabbit. Hey, Bennett, Sid, Tim. In addition to the chart, guys, any advice on options trading, education system, software? Tim, my best advice is paper trade the living HELL out of it, because you lose so much money learning options. And I know paper trading doesn't remove the emotions part. It doesn't factor in the emotions part of real money, but understanding the nuances of options is super important. And I think you just paper trade it. And you can do that in Thinkorswim on demand. And I think that's the paper trading simulated system. And I think you can open up an account and not even fund it and still use the simulator. So a Tasty Trade probably has the best videos out there on options. The best thing that I would tell you is find a mentor or a peer, and y'all learn together. It helps a ton. All right, let's go back to the top. They are sassy, Bennett, for sure. Okay, let me go to the top and see if I can get as many chart requests as I can. I'm glad. I hope Tesla worked for y'all yesterday. It worked for me. It wasn't as clean as I wanted it, but it still worked. GBP USD. The dollar is beating the ever-living SNOT. That's a yucky word. Snot out of this chart. Man, I've just got a dirty mouth today. Weekly broke support. Monthly, we are looking for a higher low. Daily is oversold. That's typically a decent area to look for that monthly higher low. However, bears are relentless right now. Dollar strength is something not to mess with. Yeah. Reverse back burner until something changes, meaning just wait for 15-minute overbought conditions to short. It has a little inverse head and shoulders here on the 4-hour on RSI. Not that that's completely reliable. It worked yesterday for us on oil, didn't it? Let me go back up to oil. You see this head and shoulders play out? We talked about this yesterday on the pregame show that RSI had a daily head and shoulders and I was bearish oil. It got a tiny bear break without a lot of follow through. This weekly is still super healthy and could be a bull flag, so we have to be careful with shorts on oil, or remaining shorts on oil, I should say. feel like I've missed a name. I thought I saw one earlier. AL. Bullish chart. Who would have thunk it? Weekly higher high. They really liked earnings. This is a beautiful trampoline move with that rounded bottom. I mean, I guess if you don't have a long and you want one, I would wait for a back burner. Wait for first 5 or 15 minute oversold during regular trading hours for potential long. And I'd be very careful shorting this. CCJ. Uranium. Beautiful. 45.26. Wait, you have your next resistance is 42.38, then 45.26. Beautiful chart. Look at that squeeze. Wow. We have people in our room that have been all over this. Did you know that we have a uranium channel? We have a uranium channel. We have some experts in there. Back burner mode. You can't chase up here, in my opinion. You just wait for oversold conditions for potential longs. VIX. Well, man, that all worked out yesterday, didn't it? We have this weekly resistance right here that I was showing y'all yesterday. And this candle has until Friday to close because it's a weekly candle. But we have been unable to get over 1888 as of now. That's weekly resistance. We're inside yesterday's range. And we're going sideways. Could be a head and shoulders on the hourly, which makes sense because the market has a potential inverse head and shoulders forming. Right here on the 30-minute. All right. Bye-bye. Monthly inside bar broke bear. Weekly downtrend. Daily downtrend. I would be looking at reverse back burners on this one. 5 and 15 minute overbought conditions for shorts. IWM was my favorite from yesterday, and I didn't trade it. I'd focused on Tesla like I said I would, but man, that played out perfectly, didn't it? We were watching this gap over here of 175.75 from here. And the play yesterday was wait for that gap to get filled and then buy a long. And man, it worked out perfectly. I'm glad it worked for you, Richard. CGC. I'll get started. CGC is up here against resistance, $1.03. Daily lower high is still the more likely scenario. Bears are looking for top fishing plays for the daily lower high. Well, thank you, Saucy. That is very nice. Dang it. I like cost. That looks like a 4-hour head and shoulders. Weekly double top at 570. Yeah, it doesn't look super constructive right here, but it's not torn up like every other chart we're looking at. Good morning, KK. Let's get this show on the road. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter, that'd be lovely, at Chart Gal Lori. And don't forget to hit that like button. And where did I put that webinar? Right here. Let me pin this. So pinned to the top of the chat right here on YouTube, we have a free webinar on Thursday. Let me show you what that's all about. A guide to better entry techniques will show you how to assess the most likely scenario and pinpoint better trade entries using a variety of powerful tools in this private webinar. 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. If you sign up at that link, you don't have to be there live. You can watch it whenever you want. Of course, once it happens. So it'll start in 2 days. Okay, what do I do here every morning? I don't know. Kidding. Here's the economic calendar. We just had building permits came out at 8 a.m. Eastern. 30 minutes after market open, we have consumer confidence. Is that 30 minutes? Yeah, it's 30 minutes after the market opens. Remember, I'm constantly trying to do time difference. I'm not that fast at it this early in the morning. Then I'll show you this table. This table is still red. It is so stinking red. And I have notes that are off screen. I copy and paste for TCG members when I am done. Hang Seng down 1.48%. And DAX is down 0.61%. So we're red overseas for the most part. Now let's go look at ES. Daily bear flag, y'all. Potential daily bear flag. I think we have to stay in reverse back burner mode. I think currently we have this 30-minute potential inverse head and shoulders shaping up, but I can't get overly bullish because of this bear flag. On any bounce, we're still looking for a daily lower high. Oh, I don't want to mess up my lines, but I'm going to mess up my lines. So let me do this fib. So on this fib pull, we haven't even bounced maybe 15% from the bottom. And so whatever the percentage bounce from that high, you can use that as a probability calculator as to what is the most likely scenario. On the daily, there's like an 85% chance we're going to get a lower high right now. And that's just some math using Fibonacci's and just looking at probabilities. So bounces are for shorting. If we get an hourly overbought with this pattern, I'm going to be all over it to short. All right. So ES is what I'm looking at for my shorting vehicle because we broke weekly support. NASDAQ did not. It did by just a tiny fraction. You see that? 14,800 was support and we broke it by $18 yesterday. And we're bouncing ever so slightly. And it also has a potential 30-minute inverse head and shoulders. But y'all look at that. That's a daily bear flag all day, every day, all the days end to NY. That is a classic bear flag pattern. We stayed inside. We're currently inside yesterday's range, and we do have some inside bars to look at. Well, let me get to the gist. I think the bounce, my husband will usually ask me after I've looked at the charts for about an hour, he'll ask me, okay, what's it going to be today? What do you think? And what I think is that bounce really hurt us yesterday. That bounce just cooled off RSI to allow bears another opportunity to short. So I think yesterday's bounce so far was just a dead cat bounce. Do you see anything standing out with this volume? No. It wasn't particularly spectacular yesterday on that bounce. So that means it was more. So bounces are one of these two things. Okay, that's not a 2. Or it can be both. Is it bears covering, bulls buying, or is it both where bears are covering and bulls are buying? Volume will tell you if it's both. And yesterday, that did not tell us that bulls were buying. That just showed that maybe bears liked their profit and they were covering for the most part. There's no way to exactly know what type of buying it was, but this is a general good rule of thumb. So I think the bounce yesterday was actually, I'm trying to think of the word. I think it hurt the market overall structure. It wasn't beneficial at all. I think the bounce just cooled off RSI so bears can go in for more meat left on the bone. All right. We have the hourly 50 MA overhead on NASDAQ and on ES. RTY, hourly 50 MA overhead, EMAs are overhead. And that looks like a daily bear flag. And y'all know when I shut off my microphone, more data enters the market and everything could absolutely change. Just know that I try to help you visualize the right side of the chart, the Taylor Swift blank space. Visualize the right side of the chart with sequencing and if-then scenarios. But the more data I have, the more accurate I can be. And as soon as the microphone shuts off, I get 30 more minutes before the market opens of data. So please remember that. And that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, how crazy is that? Wild, wild. Okay, YM, potential daily bear flag. And it isn't even a bear flag. It's not even bouncing that little dog leg out. It's not even dog legging out. It's so weak. So I told y'all about this support yesterday, 34,123. We have this little one over here, 34062. We broke that overnight. So now it's all about 34K. I'm going to set an alert because I want to know if that gets hit. That could be a synthetic support. All right. And it's hard for me to read chat and do the technical analysis. So if you're trying to call out something to me, just know I can't read it and do this at the same time. Oh, but Bennett needs something. That's different. No, my husband and I do not trade together. It's a gossip stream. Okay. This is as good a space as any to look at Bennett's. Kipu Trader is a mod and a TCG member, so he gets preferential treatment. And he's my friend. Weekly inside bar, squeeze. Daily 21 EMA overhead, hit resistance and rejected right now. Four-hour is squeezing. The dollar is just so strong. I mean, it's a very straightforward short against 135236, looking for that daily resistance to hold. And if it gets over that, then I would flip to bullish. Okay, USDJPY. Yet dollar is just so strong. And they are slowly marching this up. And look at this. RSI is not even getting overbought. It's just a slow march up. Very methodical. Hourly is going sideways, kind of choppy right here, right now. But I would say back burner on this one. Just look for pullbacks to buy. Okay, VIX, I talked about it right out the gate, but we have weekly resistance overhead. We were unable to break the 1888. We're inside yesterday's range. We're going sideways. If this can be a head and shoulders and break bear, that would be bullish for the market. All right, Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's telling us something, it's not good. If we need to get our clues from Bitcoin, the clue we're getting is look bearish, because this is a pretty ugly looking chart. 4-hour downtrend, lower high set, hourly downtrend, 50 MA, whacking it over the head, super weak. Ethereum is over the hourly 50 MA. They kind of caught me by surprise this morning. That is different for Ethereum to be just slightly stronger than Bitcoin. And the dollar, this looks just like the USDJPY chart. Pullbacks are for buying on the dollar until bears prove otherwise, and they are large and in charge. All right, I need some water real quick. There are 300 of you and 112 likes. If you could give that like button a click, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Weekly support is approaching on gold, 1921. Metals are going to have a hard time as long as the dollar has this strength. It is not time for the metals to shine until the dollar sits on its behind. I couldn't do that again. It is not time for metals to shine until dollar sits on its behind. So we have a weekly EQ. We have support approaching 1921. Dollar needs to take a frickin' breather for you to get any longs out of metals. Otherwise, short, overbought conditions. Oil, daily head and shoulders played out here, but they're not getting a lot of follow through. That just shows how bullish oil is on larger time frames. You're rejecting at the hourly EMAs. There was something outside that caught my attention. It was an airplane. Now I hear what it is. Sorry. So oil is in a technical daily downtrend now, but weekly looks fine. We got hourly oversold. Maybe 4-hour oversold is the next long opportunity. I don't see a clear setup. NG, I have no trade on NG. None. But this 3-day 50 MA still has my attention. Your next support is at 2541. These bulls got nothing up their sleeve right now. But I'm watching it. Okay, Apple. You're welcome. Okay, Apple daily inside bar still holding weekly support. Again, key for the market. Apple needs to hold the support. And Microsoft needs to hold the support. On the weekly, that support is down at 311.55. Okay, so go back to Apple. We are on our third weekly inside bar with Apple. How this breaks will tell us a whole lot about the market. If I had to put money down as to how this is going to break, I would say bearish, only because the overall tenor and tone of the market. All right, Amazon had a daily inside bar as well. What does that look like to you? A bear flag. Looks like a daily bear flag. Weekly, we lost support already. I just don't see a trade on this one either. NVIDIA came out the gate really strong yesterday, but it still could be a daily bear flag. Look at that channel. Is that just not a perfect bear channel? Look at us coming at the 50 RSI overhead, and that's been resistant since September 5th for 3 weeks. So I think NVIDIA is a top fish setup today against yesterday's high. And even if it breaks yesterday's high, let's say by $1, it still could be a bear flag. Tesla, great beach ball trade yesterday. It didn't end up ideally like I wanted it. I wanted it to hold 240, but I guess the bigger the flush, the bigger the bounce. So it was a great trade. I don't have one for you on it today. We are looking for that weekly higher low. And 4-hour looks like inverse head and shoulders. You see it? RSI. Right there. Let's see if Tesla can put in that weekly higher low. So I would say Tesla is my long pick out of these three, and NVDA would be my short pick. All right, Ford. I've had this on my chart for months now. We had this EQ back here. We popped bull, then they had some bearish news. We are looking for a weekly lower high, and now we're looking for the daily lower high compared to 1277. We're banging our head on the 50 MA overhead. And y'all know how much I love to short against the 50 MA from below. So I like this tightening pattern. So the way I'd like for it to go would be something like this, 1270, and come back up 1260-ish, and look for a top fish there with the daily 50 MA overhead. Microsoft, I'm still watching it for a potential long, looking for a potential weekly higher low. And we have the squeeze going on. We'll see if we can get a Microsoft long. Does it have anything on RSI? Nope. I still like Tesla a little bit better for the long. Okay, this is going to be a weird one. It's a weird one, Mr. Grinch. We have a rising wedge on UNH. UNH is one of the stronger charts out there. Look at this daily. We got a daily higher high. And on the weekly, we're looking for a potential lower high compared to 511.66 right here. And we're banging our head right on that resistance. So I like the risk to reward on this one of a short because we're right near where we would stop out, where we would be wrong. If we were right, the reward is much greater than the risk. Look at that rising wedge. So like a top fish on UNH. VFS, this thing is that Vietnamese car thing, and I heard they had $3 million revenue last year, and you would need to look this up yourself. And their market cap is $66 billion, and their revenue is $3 million. I don't even think they've actually produced a car, I don't think. So this one, I'm looking to short bounces until it stops working. So 5-minute, 15-minute overbought conditions, I'm looking for shorts. And yes, I just got fundamental on y'all. WSM, Williams-Sonoma. I don't know what the heck was going on yesterday, but man, they were buying it hand over fist. So I like a back burner on this one, meaning first 5 or 15-minute oversold conditions during regular trading hours, where VFS is a reverse back burner looking for first 5, 15-minute overbought conditions during regular trading hours. And someone asked me about Chewy yesterday, and I saw it after I turned off the mic, but I did want to show you on FinViz. This is free. You don't have to pay. You can get so much data from FinViz, so much data for free. You don't have to be a member to get the majority of what you need. You can get with just using the website, not paying for it. So Chewy. I hope Chewy, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Whoever has this in their IRA, I'm sorry in advance, but I would love for Chewy to stay beat up into December and we buy it for tax loss harvesting. But here's the thing, when you see a chart like this, and let's look at the dumpster diving. I recreated this yesterday. This is my dumpster diving list. Look at these names. Okay. Charge point. Let's start with Chewy because we're on here. Okay, if you were the CEO of Chewy, or the chief marketing officer, or chief operating officer, chief dog officer, wouldn't you be buying this if this was heavily discounted and extreme value? So on FinViz, you can go to the name and look below and look at them. Sell, 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 sell. Interim CFO, that never looks good, is selling the crap out of this. Who's buying? If the insiders aren't buying, then why should we be buying? So it tells you something when the insiders don't step up and buy. And then inversely, look at CHPT. Well, I saw that buy here. Well, that isn't inversely. Let's look at CRM is at support. Man, what was the other one I looked at that showed me the buys? Oh well, I missed it. But if you see an insider stepping up to buy, that tells you there is some intrinsic value in that company and they think it's worth more. And nobody in Chewy is stepping up to buy. They're all selling the crap out of it. So if the insiders aren't buying it, why should we? Just a nice friendly reminder. You're welcome. They do have a car dealership. That's interesting, Alan. I just went over Amazon. Amazon has a daily inside bar, potential daily bear flag. I'd be careful with it. I mean, I could make a case for an inverse head and shoulders on this chart. I could make a case for it. But you could get a bull break with no follow through and it just be that daily bear flag. So overall, I think we're safer to stay in reverse back burner mode today and look for names to top fish. All right, I'm going to end it right there. That seems as good a place as any to end it. If y'all can hit the like button before you leave, and don't forget to sign up for that webinar. It's pinned at the top of chat right there. A guide to better entry techniques, Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And give me a follow on Twitter and just do all the things and do good things. Use stop losses.